It's another beautiful day here in North Carolina, so I've locked myself in the shop, and today I'm going to get that running. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who follow the Packard build, you know where we left off last time. I got it cranked. I got the engine to spin over, added some fuel to the carburetor, but couldn't get it to start. Started diagnosing things, found out that I had no spark. So over the past week, I've been doing some research and figured that it was time to put a set of points and a condenser in the distributor and set that all up and then see if we can get this thing running. So it's kind of cool. Packard gets a lot of attention from you guys on YouTube and also from my family. My Uncle Dave called me a couple of days ago, and we were talking about ignition systems and positive ground stuff, and he gave me some pointers on how to set everything up, which was really cool. And it's good to have the old school hot rodders in your life to help you out when you work on something like this. I've never seen a set of points before in my life, ever. Never worked on them. So it's cool getting phone calls and all the comments on the video. So I'm gonna get these points in here, and hopefully we can get this thing fired up today. Okay. So for those who haven't seen it yet, this is the inside of the distributor on the Packard. Here are the points, and there's the condenser. So how this works is there's a little cam on the distributor shaft here, and it opens and closes the points, which sends a signal to the coil to make it fire. The condenser, honestly, I have no idea what it does. I'm just going to replace it because I'm in here already. So real simple setup, but I know these are a wear item. So I'm going to pull this set out real quick, and we'll get the new set in and see if we can fire this thing up. Alright, so I've got the parts laid out here on the bench. This is the old point set, and this is the new point set. And you can see they're a little bit different, but where the pin goes here and where the adjustment bolt goes here is the same. That's the only difference. And there is a screw in the distributor, but it spins freely, and it's like on a cam, so I don't know if I'm supposed to put that in there or not. And then the condenser, you know, pretty simple. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut the end of this bracket off here so that it looks like the old set, and then we'll install it into the car. Okay, so we have the new points and condenser in here. And what I'm doing right now is I'm setting up the gap on the points, and I forgot my feeler gauges at RPM, so what I'm doing is I'm using a lid to an oil filter box. And, you know, guys back in the day used to use matchbox or matchstick cardboard, so this should get me pretty close. Alright, so we have the new cap, or I'm sorry, the new condenser and point set installed, cap and rotors back on, plug wires back on. And what I did was I pulled this spark plug wire off and put another spark plug on it and checked for spark. We now have spark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fill the carburetor with fuel, and then I'll probably splash a little bit down the intake manifold too, and I'll turn the key and see what happens.
Imagine doing their homework there, give them a little bit of space to kind of work with. This is just going to be amazing. All right, show.
There's no way this is actually working. Holy crap.
Cameras and storage, but you're also a stay-at-home mom. So my carpenter Clint built this table for this little space, but I love that it's a little kid's table. So when your babies are sitting here doing their thing, you can multitask and not feel like you've got to lock yourself in a closet. So cute.
It's just, I can't believe that you actually made an awesome.
Great.
It's awesome.
So. Stay running.
I love the tile.
The sinks are the jam. That is awesome.
Yes.
I don't know what it is about the balcony, but it just makes it feel almost inviting. I mean, you want to go out there, maybe have some coffee in the morning. I think you guys are going to enjoy that.
Oh, we will, for sure.
Well, I say we go downstairs. We were able to create a house that's just a perfect blend of the two of us, where we both feel so at home already in it. We hope you guys love it here. We hope you live happily ever after here. Really, thanks. There's just going to be more and more memories.
All right, so I was pouring a little bit of fuel down into the carburetor, and I was waiting for the fuel pump to pick up fuel. I've got a little gas jug on the ground. It fired up. This is awesome. It had 60 pounds of oil pressure. So I have no cooling system right now. The radiator had a leak in it, so there's no water in it. But I'm gonna fire this thing back up and let it run for a few seconds. It's amazing. Smoking a little bit. I apologize to Bob. Bob's wrapping a vehicle in here today, and so I'll open some doors and get some fresh air in here for him. So excited. So I guess that's it. I said once it was running that I was going to start working on the other systems, which is going to be brakes and see if the transmission works. Because I don't have brakes, I don't want to drop it in gear and see if the rear wheels spin. Screw it, yeah I do. We'll do that. So, but also, like I said, no cooling system hooked up right now, so I can't let it run that long. But check out how quick this thing starts up when I hit the key. So what I'm gonna do is I'll set the camera down, I'll fire it up real quick, and then I'm just gonna hop inside and drop it in gear and see if the transmission moves. And if it does, I'm just gonna come back up out here and I'll shut the car off. Transmission appears to work, which is awesome. So I guess that's gonna do it for this video. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to pull all four wheels off of this thing and start figuring out why I don't have any brakes. But huge day for the Packard. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to have a beer because this is awesome. And it sounds great. I don't know how it's gonna come through on the GoPro. It runs so quiet and so smooth. And that was Packard's claim to fame back in the day, is you could stand a nickel up on the top of the engine and it wouldn't fall over. So I'll agree, it runs smooth. Of course it's smoking, but I had poured a bunch of oil in the combustion chamber, so I expect that. But the fuel pump is pulling fuel like it's supposed to. The carburetor appears to be working like it's supposed to. All I have to do is hit the key. I don't have to touch the carburetor, the throttle linkage, nothing. So 60 pounds of oil pressure at idle, I'm super excited, and the transmission works. So I'm gonna start tearing this thing apart. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.